Finding the main idea and supporting details. Only in the far west have windmills remained indispensable. On the open range, windmills serve as guideposts and landmarks, as familiar as neighbors. A windmill tower has pointed the way home to many a lost cowboy. The windmill is usually what a cowboy sees first in the distance when riding in from a cattle drive. He begins thinking about a cool drink and a hot meal while the cattle mother up in the corrals. For the ranch woman, the windmill is often used as a lookout tower which she can climb and look off to spot the return of her cowboy. When she sees a tide of red dust where the trails come together, she knows he's safe and it's time to put the biscuits in the oven. The purr of the windmill is often the ranch woman's only company all day. She knows its pitch and tone, like the voice of a beloved friend, and will likely remember it until the day she dies. Windmills speak to those who listen. Spring is seldom silent. The blades thrash and churn and chatter as the southwest wind batters the winter-worn plains. As spring storms violate the land, an old windmill turns its cheek to the anger of the storm and stands firm. GED skill focus. Read the following excerpt from an article and complete the exercise below. Television remains a stepchild of the movie business. Movie stars and top directors often refuse to work in it, and they rarely admit to watching it. Movie agents advise clients that it's the last resort for careers in distress. Writers and intellectuals patronize it. But for a while now, the movie business has been confronted with an uncomfortable fact of life. In terms of dramatic value, relevance, and humor, primetime television, much of it, anyway, is far better than what's on at the movies. Admissions of this come grudgingly for the most part, but they do come, especially this past week, when the film industry struggled to find 5 films to nominate for the Academy Awards. No such difficulties face television. Once or twice a night there are TV shows that are vivid or powerful or funny, sometimes all three, and that do not insult the intelligence of viewers beyond the age of consent. Perhaps the most significant reason television has surpassed movies, many people in Hollywood say, is that it is a writer's medium, while films are dominated by directors. What goes on at the county fair? The crafts judges form a sorority of expert peers, most from out of county. Several have been to the judging school at the Augusta Presbyterian Church, with cards to prove it. Unwary novice judges are assigned to cookies, jellies, and jams. Hundreds of sweet things are entered, platters of brownies, cakes, jams, and jellies. You'd think it would be fun tasting them, until you thought twice. The jelly judges did stay for lunch afterwards, but they hardly ate a thing. Sewing judges sit at a table while assistants bring them garments to inspect for fabric grain lines, stitching, suitable thread, smooth darts, pleats, tucks, gathers, and facings. One lady holds up a black and white checked child's jumper. "Oh, look, she's covered the buttons." The second judge turns a sundress pocket inside out to inspect the stitching. "What do you do when they're both nice?" The senior judge says, "You get to nitpicking," and she awards first prize to the jumper. I don't know how it is other places, but in Highland County, covered buttons are it. The canned vegetable judges look for a perfect seal and a nice-looking ring and label. The liquid should be free of sediment and bubbles. The color should be natural, pieces must be uniform and of good quality. Mildred Dedamore holds a jar of stewed tomatoes up to the light and size. The tomatoes are so much seedier this year. It's because of the drought. Why did success spoil Ernest Hemingway? In 1928 Hemingway's mother mailed him a chocolate cake. Along with it she sent the Smith & Wesson revolver with which Hemingway's father had just killed himself. Hemingway dropped the pistol into a deep lake in Wyoming and saw it go down making bubbles until it was just as big as a watch charm in that clear water, and then it was out of sight. The story is minutely savage in its details and haunting in its outcome, perfect Hemingway. And of course, there is the water. Lake water and trout stream and Gulf Stream and the rains after Caporetto and the endless washes of alcohol refracting in his brain. His style was a stream with the stones of nouns in it and a surface of prepositional ripples. Ernest Hemingway's books are easier to know, and love, than his life. He wrote, at his early best, a prose of powerful and brilliant simplicity. But his character was not simple. In one of his stories, he wrote, "The most complicated subject that I know, since I am a man, is a man's life." The most complicated subject that he knew was Ernest Hemingway. His life belonged as much to the history of publicity as to the history of literature. He was a splendid writer who became his own worst creation, a hoax and a bore. He ended by being one of the most famous men in the world, white-bearded Mr. Papa. He stopped observing and started performing. Still, a long mythic fiesta between two explosions may not be a bad way to have a life. The first explosion came in Fosse Alta di Piave in northeastern Italy at midnight on July 8, 1918. A shell from an Austrian trench mortar punctured Hemingway with 200-odd pieces of shrapnel. The second explosion came 25 years ago this summer. Early one morning in Ketchum, Idaho. Hemingway slid 2 shells into his double-barreled Boss shotgun. The last creature Hemingway brought down was himself. Hemingway was mourned mostly as a great celebrity, his worst side, and not as a great writer, which he was. To Bernard